Hello, welcome. How are you doing today? How is everyone? Welcome. Happy Saturday. I started a little bit late this morning because I needed to finish making my coffee because I was up late yesterday. How are you guys doing today? Here it's 10:12 in the morning. I'm doing pretty well. It was good. I made a cup of coffee. This is kind of funny. So, I'm a little bit particular with where I get my coffee from. I became kind of a coffee snob because I started drinking this really good coffee and then drinking other coffee just didn't taste as good. But then the place where I get my coffee stopped selling the specific type that I like. And I had another bag of coffee in my house, but I didn't have a coffee grinder, just the beans. And I used my blender to grind the beans, and it actually worked really well. So I had a little bit of like a journey with the coffee today. What is pound as a verb? Pound, so to pound is like to beat something. So if someone like pounds on your door, they like hit your door really hard, like with their fist. So I would imagine like to pound something is to kind of like to punch it or hit it is to pound. Or if someone gets beat up, you could say he took a pounding or he got pounded. Uh, yeah. Why was my instinct was very violent to say that pounding is to beat something. It is, but also if your heart is pounding, your heart is beating hard. So it can be used in a similar way to beating. But it's like when you are in a situation that is maybe high stress or high emotions and you feel your heart dun dun dun. That is like my heart was pounding. It's not just the normal heartbeat. It's a little bit more dramatic than that. Good morning from Jakarta, Indonesia. Okay. Hello. Hello, Nicolas. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about life mottos because I think that I like these sort of short and sweet phrases because when you're in a conversation, it can help to remember kind of these little short and sweet phrases, but also we can talk about your own life mottos. So I thought this would be an interesting topic for the class today. So I'll start just by asking you all what's your life motto, and then I'll present you with some examples of other life mottos for you to see. So tell me, what is your life motto? Do any of you live by a specific life motto or life philosophy? Do I have plans for today? Really, it's kind of a cloudy day here, but maybe I would love to do something outside because of how much time I've spent inside this week. So tell me, what is your life motto? Like, I don't know, some people say things like the early bird catches the worm, or work hard, play hard. Or I am thinking what my life motto is as an example. After we get a couple, I'll share with you some other life mottos. So maybe by the end of the class, you'll have an idea for what your life motto can be in English. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I really like that. That's a really good one. That's one I don't know if anyone has an example of how to use that, but one that comes to mind for me is that this week I saw that they are redesigning the Pizza Hut logo. And so a lot of people were saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is if it isn't broken, don't fix it. So like basically to say that the Pizza Hut logo was fine before, so there was no reason to change it, and now it's messed up compared to before. I would say also in Chile, a lot of people, there's a specific type of chips called ramitas, and they had a cheese flavor, and they changed the recipe of the cheese flavor. And so a lot of people have said that they wish that they never changed the recipe. And I would say that's another good example of if it isn't broken, don't fix it. We all liked the cheese flavor. There was no reason to change it. My life motto, do the best. Yeah. I'd say maybe like do your best could be also, because everyone's best is different. Keep it simple yet significant with a minimalistic approach. Nice. Think positive. That's a good one. No pain, no gain. That's one I would say could relate to English a little bit. So if you always study and it feels really easy, like you're always looking at the same beginner words, you're probably not going to actually learn so much versus if you feel that you're actually using your brain more and concentrating and trying to remember complicated things, that pain that you're going through is going to give you more gains in the learning process. With patience and determination, nothing is impossible. I like that one. It is what it is. Yeah. So this is a good one. Also, it is what it is. If you guys ever want to just say, you know what? It's like that and there's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. So if you tell me I had a really difficult day at work and my boss is the worst, and I said, oh my God, that's terrible. What are you going to do? You could tell me, you know what? It is what it is. This is how things are. I can't really do anything about it. I'm just going to keep trying to think positive. You can learn many times, but you only get one chance. Okay. But what if, I don't know, I feel like maybe it depends on what it is, because in some cases you get a lot of chances or chances you weren't expecting. But maybe it's good to act like you only have one chance in order to take that chance. As you do anything, you do everything. Okay, what does that? I'm curious about what you mean by that. As you do anything, you do everything. Watching this live from work, you should play it out loud. Just kidding. The heart is not fix it again when you, like your heart doesn't, like you can't mend a broken heart. You can't fix your heart after it's broken. I feel like you can. Maybe your heart, you can fix it, but it doesn't go back exactly like how it was. Does that make sense? Like the Japanese pottery, the Japanese ceramics, where if you break a ceramic bowl and it has all these cracks in it, and you need to pour gold in the edges in order for it to come together, but it looks more beautiful because it has this like beautiful gold design now. I feel like that's how I feel. Don't worry, be happy. Yes, that's very reggae. Impossible word is saying impossible. Yeah, like the only word that's impossible is the word impossible. YOLO. In case you guys don't know, YOLO is you only live once. So you should seize the day or carpe diem. Okay, I have here a list of other life mottos, and I like these because they are like short, nice phrases that will help you to remember a little chunk of English. So one, and I'm curious what you think about it. One that is common to hear is actions speak louder than words. And yeah, for example, if you're someone that is learning how to make a comparison in English, this is a comparison. So actions speak louder than words. Do you agree with this, that actions speak louder than words? I've heard different things from my students before about this, and sometimes people say something like, yes, actions speak louder than words, because if someone gives you a lot of empty promises, they don't really mean anything if they're not followed through with action. But on the other hand, if you have a person in your life that does a lot of actions, but they don't really tell you, I appreciate you, I love you, but they're just kind of doing actions for you. Sometimes you want words also. So I could kind of see both sides of this. Maybe it's very like father figure to be, he's like, I fixed your car. And then you're like, I love you, Dad. And he's like, so actions speak louder than words. But I will say, in my personal opinion, usually I do agree with this, but I like a little words of affirmation as well. What do you guys think? Do you agree that actions speak louder than words? Or if you would change the phrase, to your own version, maybe like words and actions speak louder than something else. You could also change the phrase. Choose courage over fear. That's a good expression. What's the difference between motto and quote? A quote is the direct words that a person said, that a specific person said. So, like, I don't know, here is a quote from a famous author, and it's the exact words that that person said. A motto could be a quote. So perhaps one day someone said, actions speak louder than words, but it's really more like a life lesson that's not directly what a person said, but the message. And it usually is so popular that we don't know who the one person that it came from was. So something kind of like a proverb or an old saying in your culture, you could kind of think of it more like a motto because it's the way that you should live your life is a motto. And there's not one person that you're kind of ascribing this quote to. What if I only have words and they were from the bottom of my heart and you're not able yet to take action? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes maybe words are very valuable in a situation. We can't really solve everything, right? What if someone tells you that they're going through something, I don't know, like a medical problem, but you're not a doctor? How are you going to take action? Maybe just being there for someone. Also, sometimes when you're talking to someone and you tell them your problems, sometimes you want them to just kind of hear you out instead of solving them. So I think it might be nice to just have words instead of action. Gotta take it with a pinch of salt. Yes. We've practiced that phrase before. I think it's really good. You don't take it so seriously. Understand there could be some sort of exaggeration, or it might not be completely true, or the person might be very emotional. So take it with a pinch of salt. Treat every day like it's Friday. Okay, an early escape is a victory. I like that one. That's a really good phrase. I'm thinking of where you could use that phrase. Maybe like, I think in a lot of work situations, right? An early escape is a victory. Or in a relationship. Sometimes people feel really bad for ending a relationship, but it's like, you got out when you could before things got more complicated. That's still a victory. My favorite animated movie of all time, I don't know. I am a big Mulan person. I really like Mulan. Yeah, maybe Mulan. I think a classic. I like the music from that movie too. Okay, another one. Let me see. Here, this has an example of a phrasal verb in it. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. So based on context, does anyone know what is the phrasal verb to put off mean? To put something off until tomorrow. Yeah, so to put off is to procrastinate. Exactly. Postpone or procrastinate. So if you put something off, imagine you have to send a letter to your aunt and you don't really know what to say, so you think, okay, I'm going to send the letter tomorrow. I don't really feel like sending the letter right now, so I'm going to just wait until later. You're putting it off. You're putting it off. I think the idea is like you're moving it further into the future. You're putting something off. And hello to everyone joining. We're talking about life mottos. I have one here. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Are any of you guys procrastinators? Do you tend to put things off until the last minute? We have, I am very lazy. How can I overcome it? I don't know. I think something that helps me, and I'm a pretty big procrastinator. I think something that helps me is make it really easy for yourself to choose the thing that you have to do. So if you want to go running in the morning, put your shoes and all your clothes organized, ready to go the night before. So when you wake up, you don't have that many excuses to like, oh, I don't know where my shoes are. I can't go. Make it really easy for yourself to choose the thing that you know that you have to do. Yesterday I was procrastinating. You're still at the gym. Eat that burger today. Don't wait till tomorrow. That's true. There's a phrase that people say related to leftovers, like when you save food from eating at a restaurant or something like that. There's a phrase that people say, which is like, I don't remember how it is exactly. It's something like when you save food from a previous meal, you say one time you save the food, and the second time you save yourself because you notice that the food, I don't know, went bad in your fridge and you save yourself from eating it and getting sick. I don't remember exactly how it is, but there's an expression like that for it's better to eat the burger now because it will just get worse over the days. Don't procrastinate. Do it as long as you have time. Yeah, exactly. I think if you're waiting for motivation, that's the thing. Like, if you're waiting for motivation, you probably will not feel more motivated in the future. So you might as well just do it now. Is there any phrase that is conveying the message that something is inevitable? Let me think. Some people say, okay, we have different phrases. One, yeah, what goes around comes around. That's kind of related, actually. Yeah. So there's one that's like, I like this one. It's as sure as death and taxes. So if you say that something is as sure as death and taxes, that's one way to say that something is inevitable. Like it's going to happen no matter what. We also have other expressions like you could say it's bound to happen or it's only a matter of time. So those would be the ways to say that something is inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what. It's only a matter of time. In Germany, we have a wonderful and completely absurd idiom. Okay, da beißt die Maus kein. Take it as it comes. Yeah, that's a good expression. Like, just allow whatever happens, happens. Ah, okay. It's like the mouse bite. It's guaranteed to happen. Bison. Okay, I have here, yeah, I had the question, honesty. Honesty is the best policy. A snake in the grass. Actually, the expression that you have in Pakistan, we also have in English. We can call someone a snake in the grass. Exactly. We can say he's a snake in the grass. So we share this expression with you. Honesty is the best policy. I think you know what's interesting is that I have taught a class before related to lying and the ethics of lying. And always at the beginning of the class, I say, do you think it's okay to lie to people? And people always say, no, it's never okay to lie. And then during the class, I ask different questions like, what if you are at a family member's house and you don't like the food? Or what if someone gives you a present that you don't like? Or different things like that. And oftentimes we have a situation or two where we lie, I think, as humans. Usually not a big lie, but I don't know if for any of you, the mouse here, the mouse isn't biting off a string. Oh, okay. Can you say bottle of water? A bottle of water. Yeah, I use the flap T in US English. Okay. I have other ones. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. It's like if you help me out, I'll help you out. So imagine, I don't know, like we're hugging and you're like, here, man, I got you. I'll scratch your back. And I'm like, thanks, man. I'll scratch your back too. That is the idea. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Okay, let me see. There were other expressions here. May your mouth not sign checks that your buttocks can't pay. That's a really good expression. I like that. Your English can't be charming if your life isn't. I should steal that and use it as my slogan for my classes. Okay, let me see. This is a good one too. Yeah, take the road less traveled. Take the road less traveled. That's an interesting life motto, is take the road less traveled. In Arabic, we have weird sayings like spread your legs to the limit of your What? I'm like, should I read that out loud? I don't know what that means. Oh, to the limit of your sheet, like your bed sheet? Take the road less traveled is. There is a poem that is with this idea. It's basically like, do what other people aren't doing. Maybe nowadays with social media, this one makes a lot of sense because you see everyone doing the same things, the same trends, but maybe you want to be different and unique and be yourself. So take the road less traveled. Yeah. And it's interesting the grammar of this. So less traveled is like describing the road. Take the road. Which road? Less traveled. And also from this saying, you can see that when I'm giving directions in English, you can often say take. So take the main street down to First Street. Then you want to take First Street over to 6th Street. So take this road is a common way to give directions in English. It is like go against the grain, exactly. Go against the grain. So when everything is growing in one way and you decide to go the other way, like your hair grows like this and you decide to go the opposite way. Yeah, it's like don't be scared to try something new in a sense, or like live your life in a different way, maybe. It would be like don't be afraid to live your life, yeah, to be unique. Think pink. That's a good one too. No pain, no gain. Yeah. No pain, no gain is like without difficulty, effort, and challenge, you're not going to have a positive benefit, right? So, for example, with exercise, if you don't exercise, you're not going to experience pain. You're not going to experience the challenge of feeling your muscles worked out. But you're also not going to gain more muscle. You're not going to grow. So no pain, no gain. It's like you're staying in the comfort zone. Hello. Not all that seek are lost. That's a good expression too. I like that one. So take the road less traveled. Okay, I have some more that are, this is a really good one. The grass is always greener on the other side is another one. Think pink was the motto of a party I threw. Everything had to be pink. Nice. Yeah. I like that one. I like short rhyming phrases. So think pink. It could be kind of you learn from experiences in every direction. Yeah. But the idea is like everyone is going this way. How about you try to do something else different from what everyone else is doing? So it is true. Like you could learn in a different way, but especially trying to be unique and not just going with the crowd. Hello. Hi, everyone. We are talking about life mottos. I have this one here. The grass is always greener on the other side. This is a really also good one, I think, for this day and age with social media because you can easily imagine you live in a house and you see your neighbor and they have this beautiful green grass and you think, oh, their grass is so much nicer than my grass. But then when you cross the street, you realize they have the same grass. You just saw it and thought it looked more beautiful from the other side of the street. So whenever we're kind of have a distance from someone else's life, someone else's reality, it can look like they have it better than us, but maybe that's not the case. I think that way in terms of social media, right? Sometimes you see people and they are always sharing so many moments where they're eating something delicious, traveling, like doing so many nice things. And we look at their life and think, oh my gosh, their grass is so green. But then maybe behind closed doors, maybe they spend so much time, traveling that they don't really have close friends. Maybe they don't really have close family members. And those are things that you really value. And for you, it would be difficult to change and live in that way because you prefer to have the things that you have that that person doesn't have. So I think for me, at least, that's an important life motto. I don't know if anyone else agrees or if this exists in your language. I think it exists in Spanish. I've heard some similar expression, but I don't remember how it is. The grass is always greener on the other side. And today, yeah, we have quite a few comparisons in phrases. So the grass is greener on the other side. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah, exactly. It is part of judgment. Yeah. People always think others have it better. And that's a good expression. You think others have it better. That's one of the things also with English. You might know the word have, it, and better, but that combination of words together, I don't often hear so many students use. So if someone has it better than you, they have better circumstances than you. Get busy living or get busy dying. I guess I've heard people say that we're all dying all the time, which is true, but thinking that way is kind of like, what? All mouth and no trousers. I've never used that before. Maybe it's British because the word trousers. We say in English, actually, we have another one that's like, he's all bark and no bite. This is like, she's all bark and no bite. I don't know if you've ever interacted with a small dog that's like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow," and it tries to scare you by barking, but it is not actually able to bite you or to do harm to you. When you meet a person who says a lot of things and threatens you, but they're not actually a real threat, basically. We today are talking about life mottos and typical sayings. We have the neighbor's chicken is a goose. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Is that the grass is greener on the other side? I love that one. The neighbor's chicken is a goose. It's an Iranian idiom. That's a really good one. In English, we just have the grass is greener on the other side, but I like your neighbor's chicken is a goose. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's also a good one. Yeah, it's an Iranian idiom. Nice. Okay, I have other ones. There are honestly a lot of things related to chickens also in different languages. Do any of you have expressions related to chickens in your language? Because in English, we have quite a few. We have like, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Like, don't believe that something is guaranteed to work before it happens. If your friend goes to a job interview and they say, okay, I have a new job, and you're like, wait, did you hear back from the hiring manager? And they said, no, but the interview went well for me. I would say, don't count your chickens before they hatch. They haven't confirmed that you're going to get the job, so you should keep looking. This idiom means that someone appears threatening or aggressive, but is actually harmless and unlikely to follow through on their threats. Yeah, the person is all bark and no bite. Maybe the whole world has chicken-related idioms. I think farm life was an important part of humanity across all continents. So we have a lot of farm-related idioms. So don't count your chickens before they hatch. Chicken, chicken, see you next weekend. Is that an expression? I have an interview, but I'm afraid for my language, how can I solve it? Yeah, I would definitely prepare beforehand with typical interview questions. I would focus in the moment of speaking more on the message that you're saying rather than trying to get the grammar perfect when it's the day of, because being too nervous can also make you have more difficulties with being fluent in the conversation. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it's your first interview in English, but I think it's really just a matter of practice. And the more interviews you have, the easier it will come to you. And remember that the most important thing is to just communicate your message. I think that's my best advice and practice. You're a medical doctor and a farmer. That's cool. Let me see. You guys were saying, the chicken has only one leg. What does that mean? I need an explanation. If you guys are telling me phrases in your own languages, I need a little explanation as well. The chicken has only one leg. I'm trying to guess what that could possibly mean, that the chicken has only one leg, but I don't know. First, catch your hare, then cook him. Don't be a chicken, yeah, or to chicken out of something. Are you an English teacher or are you just making reels? I'm an English teacher. I teach classes. Basically, teaching, like, making reels is kind of like a side thing I do in addition to my day job, which is working as an English teacher. He only listens to himself and never changes his mind. Okay, so that's what, like, he's a chicken with one leg. He only listens to himself and never changes his mind. Like, he's very stubborn, could be. If someone's very stubborn in English, we say that he's hard-headed, which is kind of funny. The chicken is ready. The hens are peeled. I don't know if I would say the hen is peeled. Peeled is more like the skin of a fruit. Maybe the hen is plucked, because to pluck is to, like, remove the feathers from the hen. Yeah. I don't know. I've never heard that before either. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's a good one. So we have a lot related to eggs. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and also don't count your chickens before they hatch. The chicken has only one leg means he only listens to himself and never changes his mind. Okay. I like that. I'm gonna use that on someone and they're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. So the reason we had this was I asked everyone if they have any chicken related idioms in their own language. So we have some really good idioms from Iran today. The bird has flown. Yeah, I feel like that's very similar to one in English. Like, the bird has left the nest, the bird has flown. No, we would say more like that ship has sailed would be. So for the bird has flown, like, you missed the opportunity. In English, we would say that ship has sailed, or you missed the boat, basically. That ship has sailed. Yeah, exactly. That ship has sailed, or you missed the boat. Gone is the goose that golden eggs did lie. Okay. That guy's full of hot air. I like that one. So this is one that I hear a lot on social media because I don't know if any of you watch. I love a dramatic story time on TikTok. If you are chismosa, if you're a gossip, then it's a great way to practice your English. You'll see, for example, there are people that say things like, I don't know, imagine a girl is talking about her boyfriend, and her boyfriend wanted to have a relationship with her, but also text other girls. She can say something like, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, but I said, no, like, we're breaking up. So that is basically like you wanted to have one thing and have another thing. Like, you're kind of being greedy. You wanted to talk to this girl and talk to this other girl. He wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Okay, let me see what your opportunity knocks but once. We love to play with chicken in different ways. Mit ihm muss ich ein Hühnchen rupfen. You know what's funny? I actually know the word Hühnchen because of Duolingo teaches you really random words in the language. So I feel like I don't even know really important words for making a sentence in German, but I know Hühnchen because it teaches you the word for chicken really early on. It means you want to say something uncomfortable for the other person. Rupfen. You want to... I know what it is in English. We have the same one. You want to ruffle some feathers. Rupfen would be to ruffle. So if you were going to say something that bothers another person, you could say like, ooh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So imagine you have a chicken and you go like this, and the chicken's feathers are all sticking out in different directions. That is to ruffle some feathers, to ruffle some feathers. This train is gone. A stitch in time saves nine. You guys have amazing phrases. And you can see these phrases teach you so much vocabulary. So to ruffle. Okay, this is also interesting. if you eat potato chips, and there are different types of potato chips. There are the chips that are smooth, and there are the chips that are like curly like this. In Chile, they call them corte liso y corte americano. That corte americano, that type of chip that is not smooth, we call those in English ruffles, ruffle chips, because the chips are not smooth. They're ruffled, like the feathers of the chicken that you bothered. So when you're eating potato chips and they look like this type of chip, you see it's not like flat. It has the ridges in it. It has ridges. That type of chip is called ruffles. Or if you have a beautiful dress, like a wedding gown, and it has the fabric is sewn in like that, your dress has ruffles. Let me see if I can find a ruffled dress. Like this woman's dress has a lot of ruffles. Her dress has ruffles. They call them potatoes ondulados. Okay, like wavy. Yeah, it could be grooves, ridges or grooves, exactly. One hand washes the other. Okay, I like that expression. One hand washes the other. It's like we are cooperating together. Knowledge is power. France is bacon. Short like the kick of a pig. I've never heard that before. Is that a translated Argentinian expression? Yes, ruffle. Because ruffle is both a verb and also a noun. Yeah. So a ruffle is like a ridge or a groove in a dress or a chip. And then to ruffle is to, I don't know, make the chickens. I don't know specifically if you're ruffling or if the fact that the chicken's feathers stick out is like they are ruffled, if they ruffle themselves. I will have to see specifically what that would mean. But okay, let me see. This is a good one too. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate it. When there's a will, there's a way. So something that's interesting is that, of course, we use the word will in the future, right? So I will go. But the word will we use in different ways. Like if you are willing to do something, you are volunteering to do it, you are open to doing it, you are available to do it. You have the disposition to do something. If you're like, yes, I am willing to do something. And also, a will is when you are going to die and you want to make a document that says, my sister will receive my collection of books. My daughter will receive my house. My husband will receive my labubus. I don't know. That is a will. That document is a will and testament. So in this sense, when there's a will, there's a way. It's like when you have this disposition to do something and this motivation to do something, there is a way to do it. So you could think this about your English, right? When there's a will, there's a way. If you're wanting to learn English and you feel very motivated, there will be a way to learn English. Weg. Nice. That's very similar. I like when expressions translate very well. It's not rocket science also. Yeah. When there's a will, there's a way. And in terms of pronunciation too, right? That's something you can practice here. I've had a class before about connected speech, and we're not going to say when there is a will. When you're listening to someone speak in a conversation, it's not common to speak like that. We have a rhythm, right? So when there's a, when there's a will, when there's a, and the S on the end of there, it happens a lot when there's an S between two, like between an R and then a vowel. We have the voiced S, so it sounds more like a Z. There's a, not like there's a, there's a. When there's a will, there's a way. There's a. And that is the words, there is a. So that's good practice for connected speech. When you hear someone say, there's a, they're saying, there is a. The devil knows more because he's old than what he knows because he's the devil. Okay. I have never heard that before, but it feels very wise. I don't know when I'll use it, but I like the idea. It's like we say in programming, if you can imagine it, you can program it. Yes, that's a really good way to see it. Yeah. If you can imagine it, you can program it. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's a will, there's a way. I really like done is better than perfect. Ooh, okay. Or this one, actually. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Very deep. I like that. So does everyone understand what this means? Basically, it was good to have done this in the past already, but if that's not possible because we can't go back in time, your next best option is to do it now. Maybe this is just like learning English, right? So you could say, I wish that I had studied English or learned English when I was a child. Now it's impossible. But the second best time is now. If you want to learn a language, the best time to do it is in the past. And since that's not possible anymore, now is the best time. There's an expression that people say now that's really common that's like, not my monkeys, not my circus. So if you notice that there's something and you're like, that's not my problem to deal with, not my monkeys, not my circus, or not my circus, not my monkeys. Done is better than perfect. Yeah. Like, don't wait until something's perfect before. I had this, like, when I first started making videos, I kind of didn't know how to edit or yeah. So I just thought, I'm going to just make videos and learn while I go. I think that is kind of what you have to do with a lot of things in life. When you get a job, when you are learning a language, you have to just think done is better than perfect, or like trying is better than perfect, maybe. Hello, it's never too late. Yeah. All right. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna go pretty soon. I wanted to stay a little bit longer because I was 10 minutes late connecting today because I had to make my coffee. I learned one from watching Dragon Ball. If we sold our experiences for what they cost, we'd all be millionaires. Okay. That reminds me, it's really common to say, like, if I had $1 for every time he told me that, I'd be rich. If I had $1 for every time she broke a promise to me, I would be rich. And that's a conditional also. Hello. All right. I think I'm going to get on with my day. I have kind of a backlog of videos that I need to edit and add to YouTube and Spotify. So I'm going to be working on that. Hopefully you'll have them soon. If you haven't checked out the videos I already have, you can go to YouTube and Spotify for my full live classes. And that way you can look with subtitles as well if you need them. You could also slow down the videos if you need to and pause them. So for that reason, I kind of prefer those platforms compared to Instagram. I also have group classes, like I said, on my website, the availability for October for B1 and B2 levels. And yeah, I posted a video today trying to keep the reels coming. So a little bit of everything. But I'm also planning something for Halloween. I want to do some kind of contest, actually, uh, like a writing contest. So this weekend, I plan to post something related to that. So keep your eyes open for a writing contest related to Halloween. I'm going to be posting that this weekend, and there are going to be some prizes potentially. I'm going to have maybe a winner selected of the writing contest. So I'm going to keep you all updated with those things, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be thinking about all these Iranian expressions, like you are a chicken with one leg. I think I'm going to tell my husband that right now. If you have any interest in taking classes or checking out my YouTube or Spotify, all of the links are in my bio. So if you go to my bio on my page, I have the links there. You can see like my website where you can register for classes. You can also see the other links to my other pages. So have a good rest of your day, everyone. And I will see you again next time. in the next week. Take care. Bye bye.